Hi guys, welcome to Mbali Talks, where we talk all things side hustles, how you can make money online, and just generally how you can gain a bit of financial freedom for yourself. This video today is inspired by two things. Number one, the fact that I've actually started this business, therefore I know what I'm talking about, and also the fact that I am not a gatekeeper, as you guys would know by now. Number two, it's actually inspired by a comment that I had in a previous video that I did, sharing a free hair supply list where someone asked if I had more of those supplies to actually share. And true to my word on that comment, I did say that I'd be back in a week or so to come and bring you guys 5 new hair supplies that you can actually look into if you're actually someone who's looking to get into this business. So if you have been wanting to get into the hair business, wondering where you can actually stock hair, whether it's bundles, whether it's ready-made wigs, whether it's wigs of color, etc., and also the different prices that you can expect, then you've actually landed on the right video. Don't be shy to join the Mbali Talks community by just hitting the subscribe button below, and also remember to keep your notification bell on so that you never miss out on valuable videos just like this one in future. Without wasting any more of your time, let's get right into it. The first hair supplier vendor that we're going to look into is this one that is called 5S Hair Factory. This is actually a good supply if you're looking for bundles. They specifically sell bundles as well as closures that actually align with the bundles. So about 5S Hair, this is the first Vietnamese hair factory in Vietnam, supplying 100% high-quality Vietnamese hair extensions. They are actually a certified, reputable Vietnamese hair factory, which you can also just do a bit of your own research online to make sure that what I'm saying is exactly what is written on their website. I actually did reach out to them when I was wanting to restart my hair business, just as a way for me to find different suppliers. Remember, with them, they are supplying Vietnamese hair mainly, and they also supply in bundles, but they do also supply Remy hair, etc. So for me, they would probably be for someone who is looking to start the hair business on a more higher premium price level, looking at between maybe 10,000 all the way to 15, 20, 25,000 rand for their hair. But like I said, this is not the best idea for someone who does not have capital, because remember, in order for you to be able to sell people hair, you need to buy and sample it first. Now, as you can see, here they have hair that is from $16, $13, $15. And at first when I got onto the website, I was so excited to discover such cheap prices until I actually realized that these prices are per bundle, which means ideally if you would buy a wig online, which is about, say, maybe, I don't know, maybe an example, let's just say $35 for a cheap quality wig, bob wig. Here, you'd have to multiply the 16 times 3 in order to get 3 bundles to make a wig, and then add on to the closure, because obviously if you're making wigs, you need your closure. Like I said, I actually did reach out to them, which is how I discovered that they actually sell bundles and closures. They don't sell actual wigs. However, just based on my research, I do think that they're a great opportunity for someone who has the capital to start a hair business, for them to experiment with their hair. So if you're looking for a premium hair supplier for your hair business, then you can actually try them out. But remember, buy samples first before you invest all your money. The next hair supplier that you can look into, which is number 2 on my list, remember I said I was going to go in based on the best quality and prices all the way down to number 5 being the least one that I recommend. But number 2 on my list is DY Hair 777. This is actually a company that I did use when I did my business before a couple of years ago. They were actually one of my suppliers. But unfortunately, what I discovered, which I'll just put out there, you can still go into the website and check for yourself, is the fact that because they are also a retail shop, their prices are slightly higher than what you would want to buy your hair for and still be able to resell it. However, what I do like about them is the fact that if you're somebody who is looking to buy hair in bulk, they are definitely one of the best suppliers that you can look into, because they are willing to do your logo. They are willing to give you branded products. They are willing to give you all these nice nitty-gritty things. They even make thank you cards for salons. Right here at the bottom, they say they give business solutions, which means you can buy at wholesale prices directly from them, and then you can sell from your own salon, because they also offer superior quality products and fast shipping guarantees. You can also use them to sell online if you're somebody who wants to go into dropshipping. Dropshipping is basically where you set up an online shop for yourself, and then put all the pictures and the links, but you don't actually buy their hair. You then link your website to the supplier's website, which in this case, you would link your online shop to the DY Hair website, so that every time someone comes onto your online shop to click and buy, DY Hair is the one that actually sends out their hair. This is a good idea for someone who does not have money but still wants to be able to start this business, because with dropshipping, you don't need any capital because you don't keep stock. The only down or shortfall about it is the fact that obviously if they are the ones that are sending your customers hair, first of all, you haven't seen the hair, so you can't guarantee what the hair is going to look like, except only relying on the different samples that you would have bought from them. And then number two, they will obviously take a commission from your money of sales. But I just feel like if you're someone who wants to go into the hair business without really investing a lot because you're afraid of risking, then dropshipping is a good idea. What I also like about them is the fact that they do provide small orders, which is basically where I fell into when I was still buying from them a couple of years ago. Another thing that I like about them is the fact that they have a combination of both. They sell both bundles as well as already made wigs. And also, I do remember at some point in time that I bought from them because they sold a lot of colorful wigs as well as had many options, as you can see here. They have HD lace wigs, they have 360 lace wigs, they have straight, body wave, natural. They literally are a one-stop shop for someone who wants to start a hair business. So they're actually one of the hair suppliers that I would definitely recommend as a way for you to start your hair business. Remember again, always buy samples before you can actually invest all your money into one supplier. The third hair supplier that you can look into is actually found on Alibaba. They are called Wig Grace. I just typed in Wig Grace supplier so that obviously what shows up is actually only their products, which is also what you can do when you come on their website. This is a company that I actually used to buy some of my hair when I actually restarted this business as a way for me to sample it. One thing I liked about them is that the hair quality is actually good. What I did not like about them is that, quite honestly, I felt like they were a bit more priced compared to the other suppliers that I'd actually tested and found online if you're somebody who's looking to start a hair business. But I still think they're a good idea for someone who wants to start a medium level type of hair business where your wigs are going to be anything between 2.5 all the way to 5,000 Rand. But they will require you obviously to have a bit of money to play with, because like I said, their wigs are not the cheap style quality wigs. They do come at a price that is above that. As you can see right here on Alibaba, they have different wigs that they actually have. And I know that sometimes when you look at a pricing like say maybe 300 Rand for a wig like this, you may be excited. However, what I will say is that sometimes you find this is not the actual price. You only ever discover the actual price when you click this chat now button, where it then leads you to one of their customer service consultants who can either send you price lists and or even coach you on specific wigs that you want, depending on the length, depending on the kind of lace that you want, depending on whether it's straight, colored, curly hair, etc. Another thing that I like about them is that if you're looking for a supplier for hair products, they do have a sample of hair products that you can actually buy to first sample on your own wigs before you can recommend them for other people that are actually your customers. In addition, I do know that they are willing to help you to create logos for the different brands, give you something like thank you cards that are coming in your branded logo, etc., which I feel like is also a good thing if you're somebody who is now sort of like grown in your business. But just as a startup, I would not invest in a lot of branding and or packaging content. In fact, there are some items that I bought recently for my business with regards to packaging, and I actually bought them on Shein, which I feel like is actually better priced, especially because the quantities are not high. Because you'll find that with suppliers on a platform like Alibaba, they want you to buy say maybe 50 to 100 of say maybe branded quality bags. My problem with that is because you're starting out, you may not yet be very satisfied with the logo that you went with. If you take a look at other people's brands, you will notice that their logos evolved over time. So my thing is, if you're starting out, go on Canva, create a simple logo for yourself, just like I did. It's absolutely free. And then try to find things that are around the same color as that logo before you can actually go and start branding things. Wait until you are satisfied with your logo, which could literally be in 6 months and or even in a year's time, just so long as you have a minimal amount of good packaging that you can use for your customers. So if you want to start a hair business, Wig Grace is definitely number 3 on the suppliers that I would recommend for you to check out. The fourth hair supplier that you can look into is actually found on AliExpress. AliExpress is actually very similar to Alibaba. There is a video that I did when I started my YouTube channel because I had a bit of experience shopping on Alibaba, which you can actually check out before you can try out any of the suppliers on either AliExpress and or even on Alibaba. And the reason I'm saying that is that there's certain things that you need to be aware of before you can actually buy from a supplier, from reviews to their trade assurance to if Alibaba itself has actually gone to their factory to check if the factory exists. There's actually a video I saw recently on TikTok about blacklisted factories. So you don't want to buy from a blacklisted factory just because they've reached out to you online, because they've seen you post a couple of pictures of wigs. You want to be sure that the supplier you're buying from is legit, exists, and you're actually going to get your product. So before you can come onto this video and decide to buy, in fact, you can watch the video, but before you decide to buy, please go and start with that Alibaba video. I have put its link in the description box. Now back to Unice Hair. This is actually a wig supplier that is on AliExpress. As you can see, they have different types of hair that you can look into. They have straight hair, they have super curly hair, they have long hair, they have short bobs. It just depends on what you're actually looking for. One thing that I liked about them is the fact that they had a wide variety and also the fact that they tend to have a lot of discounts. However, please be aware that if you're going to price your wigs, you cannot price them based on a discounted price, because it means the day that price goes up to its regular price or the supplier decides to take it back to its regular price, it'll mean you would have shortchanged yourself, because your price is now going to actually not make you as much profit and or any profit at all. So my advice for you is that when you come onto their platform, try to see if you can find someone that you can chat to directly. And if you click any of these wigs, you will find somewhere where there's a chat now button, just similar to the one that we just saw on Alibaba, where you can actually reach out to the suppliers and find out price lists, types of hair that they have, etc. Sometimes suppliers will ask you why you are buying the hair, like what's the purpose of buying the hair. You just need to be honest with them. Tell them, I want to resell, but I'm starting small. You will find most of the time they are willing to help you do that by giving you discounted price lists instead of just regular retailer price lists. But the only thing that I maybe was worried about when it comes to Unice Hair is that some of their pricing is a bit high for individual hair. For example, this wig was priced at 5.3, which means if you were to buy this hair, you need to then price it slightly higher than that in order for you to make a profit. So I feel like it only works, again, for someone who wants to go into the premium quality hair range, as they have said here, where your prices are actually going to be anything above 5,000 Rand per wig. Again, this depends on your target market. If you're somebody who's looking at only selling premium hair and you know how you're actually going to get those clients, then no problem. This is definitely one of the suppliers that you can check out. There's not a lot that I can say about Unice Hair because I actually have not used them, but based on my research, they're actually a 5-star rated wig supplier online right now, which you can check out. What I did notice, however, is the fact that you will find yourself needing to have different suppliers for different types of hair, because as much as a lot of these companies all say they sell premium hair and the hair quality is good, sometimes you find a supplier you really like for long hair, like the one that I have on this video, is not the same supplier that will be easily able to supply you with good quality colored hair. So you just play around with the different suppliers until you find a group of suppliers that are a good fit for yourself. Number 5 on my hair supply list is actually a vendor that I actually also did try, and I will be honest with you from the get-go. I did not like their hair for my target market. Remember what I said in this video? Your target market is actually going to determine the supplier that you decide to go with. This is actually a supplier that has decided to have their own factory right here in South Africa. I'm not really sure how to pronounce their name, but they do have a purple logo on TikTok, which is basically where I discovered them when I was doing my research when I wanted to restart my business. They are called Suprcurls or Suprcurls, something like that. I think they are generally called Suprcurls, but they shortened it to be spelled as SUPR curls, hence the Supra or Super curls that I am actually saying. I think they are a great supplier for someone who wants to start out with cheaper quality hair. This is just my experience, and I'm saying this because I bought probably, I think, 3 or 4 different wigs from them when I was trying the hair out, wanting to know what kind of hair they have. And the reason I was excited to try them out is because I thought to myself, if this is a supplier that's based in South Africa, it means when someone buys hair from me, I can easily go and collect it at their factory, which then reduces the 14-day period that you find you will have to tell your customers if your supplier is actually in China, because the hair must then be shipped all the way from China. But like I said, for me, they just did not live up to the standard that I wanted. I'm not even gonna lie. But I will recommend them for someone who is looking to sell cheaper quality hair at cheaper prices. If you're looking at selling wigs, anything between maybe, I don't know, 850 all the way to 2,000, maybe even 3,000 Rand, I'm stretching it at this point, then there are definitely people that you can look into. What I did like about them is that as a startup, they do allow you to buy in packages. They have different combos where they put together different lengths and different types of wigs that you can experiment with as a way for you to start your hair business. What I did mention again with being able to buy different wigs is the fact that it allows you the opportunity to be able to create different content from different hair. Short bob wigs, long hair wigs, curly wigs, straight hair wigs, colored wigs even, etc. I do think that their pricing is actually very minimal, which for me is the reason why then their hair is like, They do say that they also supply hair that is super double drawn. I just feel like the super double drawn quality that they provide is literally the standard quality that a supplier from China directly is actually going to give you. So it's almost like they have this cheaper level of normal hair where they'll be telling you that they sell grade 14A, grade what hair, etc. And then you can choose between the different grades. Obviously, the lower the grade, the cheaper the quality of the hair. For example, 12A hair is not the same as 14A hair, but I think it's just one of those tricks that suppliers sometimes use to encourage you to buy their more premium hair, which is the SDD hair that they then advertise. But with regards to the quality, I feel like the super double drawn hair is exactly what I would get from a Chinese supplier from the get-go without me even trying to buy that supplier's premium hair. So that would be my review for Suprcurls hair. They are great if you're starting out and don't have a lot of money to play with because of the combos that they sell and the fact that their pricing is actually cheap. But they are not good for someone who is looking to target medium level audience with regards to their customers, people that are going to pay all the way to 5,000 Rand, 6,000 Rand for a wig. They will be very angry with you if you decide to shortchange them and buy hair from Suprcurls. Trust me. But again, with all the suppliers that I have suggested, please do take a risk by buying a bit of samples for yourself so that you can test out the quality. And also, when you want to start a hair business, just be ready for you to be able to have a couple of disappointments, especially in the beginning while you're still finding your footing. That's what happens in every business. Ask anyone. But the biggest mistake you can make is taking all your money and buying everything from one supplier and hoping for the best. That's not a good idea. Diversify your suppliers, find different suppliers for different kinds of hair, and also don't rush for you to grow your hair business. This business will require you to be consistent with your content creation, to be showing up online literally every day with or without sales, and also to learn as you go along the way. So if that's a business that you actually want to get into, I hope this video you found it valuable. If so, please do reward me by just hitting the like button so that I know that you actually enjoyed this video and also gained that valuable information that I'm talking about. Also, if you've made it to this part of the video and you have not subscribed, I literally don't know what you're doing. Don't be shy to hit the subscribe button so that you can join the Mbali Talks community. And also remember to always keep your notification bell on so that you never miss out on any of the content that happens here. Otherwise, I wish you guys all the best in finding ways for you to be able to make money online, including starting a hair business. I'm going to see you in the next Mbali Talks video. Cheers.